Coming up on show 672, the VW ID.4 is going to have its world premiere this spring, and the US finally gets a new electric VW. Also on the show, Elon Musk talks Maxwell. A Tesla hacker says unintended acceleration? That's impossible. And BYD's biggest electric bus. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're listening in the world. Welcome to the show. For Tuesday, 21st of January, it's Martyn Lee here. I've been through every EV story to save you time. Thank you, as always, to MyEV.com for helping me make this show. When they're not busy building MyEV, which is a platform purely for plug-in cars in the US, they are planning the first ever electric vehicle event at Base Camp Miami, big EV event on the East Coast. If you want to hurry and reserve your spot on Saturday, Feb 8th, the first 500 people to RSVP get a free goodie bag from Evernex. What are you waiting for? If you're in the US, in Miami, in Florida, you can get there. Maybe on the East Coast, fancy a road trip. Check out EVs and T. EVSANDTEA. EVs and T. Great URL. .com. Welcome to a new Patreon producer, Mark Zud. MRKZED. I don't know what it's short for. Maybe just Mark Z. But thank you, Mark Zud, MRKZED. I appreciate it. And your support will help make this show happen every single day. Thank you for being a new Patreon producer. Volkswagen's next ID production model, the ID.4 crossover, will be revealed at the New York Motor Show, which is going to be in April. The new EV, the ID.4, will retain many of the exterior themes of what they were used to call the ID Crozz, with all the Zs. It was a concept car, first shown back in 2017, says autocar.co.uk. The electric crossover SUV will be an important part of VW ID brand's range offensive in the US, as well as Europe, following the launch of the ID.3 in Europe, and of course that won't be going to the US. Two versions of the ID.4/Crozz. There's going to be the SUV, the standard model, and a coupe SUV. A bit more like the concept car. They think it's going to be called the ID.4 and the ID.5. Well, we know they've trademarked ID.4 and ID.5, all the ID numbers, so they've got the option, let's face it. The ID.5 will be revealed at a later date, they say. The camouflaged ID.4 prototype, which we last saw in September at the Frankfurt Motor Show during the launch of the ID.3, will lead the design of that, and I think it's a really good-looking EV. And I'm going to draw the inevitable comparison to the Tesla Model 3 and the Tesla Model Y. I try not to bring everything back to Tesla, but there is a very obvious comparison here where the ID.3 is the car, it is the sedan, it is the first one. The ID.3, although not in the US, is the first one, and then, as VW have always said, as Tesla have always said, when we come to the crossover, the SUV, that's the big one. Model Y for Tesla, and this, ID.4, ID.5 for VW. Also going to China as well, so they're going to sell a lot of these cars. From Electrek, back in November, Scott Keogh, who's the CEO of VW in America, said the ID Crozz is going to sell in the low to mid 30,000 range after the $7,500 federal tax credit. That suggests a pre-incentive sticker price, you know, somewhere around 40k for the first high-volume ground-up EV sold in the US. The ID Crozz, can we call it the ID.4 now, is on sale at the end of this year. We think end of this year in the USA. Volkswagen say they expect to sell between 50 and 75,000 units in the first year in 2021. Okay, let's talk Elon. Elon Musk has made a comment on Tesla's acquisition of the battery company Maxwell. They were an ultra-capacitor manufacturer and battery technology company which Tesla acquired, and he shed some light on the automaker's plan for the company, says Electrek. Elon said the advancements in lithium-ion battery technology have made ultra-capacitors completely unnecessary for EVs, but that Tesla is looking into using several of Maxwell's battery technologies. Elon said that it's going to be a big deal. That's the quote, big deal. And that it could have a big impact on the future of what goes inside a Tesla. What's the first car that will be use this new battery technology? Or maybe I'm asking the wrong question. Maybe it's not a car. Maybe it's a semi-truck. Sorry, semi-truck. Interesting. Okay, let's talk Porsche Taycan, because there's been a new sighting of the Porsche Taycan Cross Turismo, and possibly the sleeker Sport Turismo. And so when I'm saying Turismo, we're talking estate car here. Stephen Hopemaster shared a couple of photos on Twitter showing a pair of electrified wagons holding ground at an EV charging station, joined by a third Taycan in sedan form, still wearing camouflage. Look, the Taycan's on sale. We've seen it. Why are you putting more camouflage on the Taycan? I wonder. Maybe there's a very good reason for doing that. Interesting. According to Christopher Smith at Motor1.com, the powertrain for each of these new Porsches will almost certainly mirror the current Taycan availability. So a 4S and a turbo, so you get that fast production all the way up to acceleration, all the way up to insane acceleration. The tweet says, from this person that saw them, looks like there will soon be a Porsche Taycan Sport Turismo EV, or whatever they call the estate version. This is an interesting development for Porsche because, the estate version, the Turismo version, the wagon version, whatever you want to call it, very, very popular in some markets. You've got to put your skis somewhere. It's interesting. Right, Tesla Model Y is expected to surprise. In an upcoming Q4 earnings call, Tesla may be incredibly quiet and conservative with their Model Y timeframes, but if recent sightings and alleged leaks are any indications, it appears the upcoming all-electric crossover, the Model Y, could be coming sooner than anyone thought. An announcement of its impending release is now expected to be made by the company executives on the upcoming financial results and earnings call. That is scheduled for January 29th at 3:30 Pacific. So we're just about a week away from that, just over a week away from that. The upcoming call on Jan 29th will hold several critical updates from the company's ongoing projects. Gigafactory 3 in China, Gigafactory 4 in Europe. What's the latest with Roadster and semi-truck? And, most importantly, is Model Y about to go into production? Admittedly, hand-built, admittedly Founders Edition, admittedly in very, very small numbers. Still counts though, right? Could it happen as early as February? That's what some people in the know are now talking about. But when will the first mass deliveries happen? Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see on that one. Okay, let's talk about this brilliant idea. Charging Stop is a company by an entrepreneur that launched 3 weeks ago at a Tesla supercharger in Culver City, California. They initially opened up to provide coffee to customers waiting to supercharge. As they surveyed potential customers using superchargers, they found one thing that customers really wanted, and that was a car wash, according to Clean Technica. Carl, the writer, rolled into Culver City supercharger during a pit stop last week. He said that 7 Teslas were waiting in line at the opening of the full charging station. A sign at the front informed customers that they could now get a car wash for $19 or a full wash for $33, full valet for $33. And what a great little entrepreneurial idea, turning up at a supercharging station and offering to wash people's car. Well, the world's biggest bus from BYD has been shown off. BYD brought 3 battery electric zero-emission motor coaches, they're calling them, to the United Motor Coach Association's annual expo in Nashville, Tennessee, held this week. BYD displaying a 45-foot double-deck C10 MS. Brilliant. No idea what that is. The largest battery electric motor coach in North America. 77 people on board. Range of 230 miles. BYD also displaying a 35-foot double-decker motor coach with 51 seats and 170 miles of range. And a 40-footer as well with 49 seats and 200 miles of range. Another brilliant example of how we can electrify lots of vehicles. Look, over 200 miles on a coach. That's kind of more than enough. You can do 200 miles, you can pull in, let the passengers get off, have a comfort break, or maybe you've got to stop and pick up more passengers. You can put chargers along the way. You know your routes. The routes don't deviate. You don't get your coach drivers thinking, I'll go the scenic route today. You can plan out exactly where you're going to be charging your coaches, control your costs, and invest in EVs. Brilliant. Right, new question of the week time.
Thanks to myev.com, with increasing attacks on EVs and vandalism caught on camera, why do you think some people have a problem with EVs? Let me know. You can email me, hello@evnewsdaily.com, or leave a comment on YouTube or the socials. Well, thank you to 230 patrons of the podcast. Your generosity means that I get to make this show and hopefully, get to learn something, get a bit of entertainment, if you like, your morning commute, whatever you're doing when you're listening to this 15-20 minutes of podcast. Well, there are 672 previous shows in the archive at evnewsdaily.com. Thank you to my patrons, premium partners, Phil Roberts of Electric Future, Brad Crosby, and Avid Technology. New name to add to the list very, very soon. They're just getting their website all pulled together. I'm looking forward to working with them as well. Okay, catch me on socials by searching EV News Daily. In the meantime, have a wonderful day. See you soon. Remember, there's no such thing as a self-charging hybrid.